Hello dear students, how are you all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to dive into a very interesting topic of our class 7 NCERT, that is chapter number 5, acids, bases and salts. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, first we will learn what we are going to study in this chapter. We are going to study about acids, bases, salts and the indicators, the natural indicators and the artificial ones. Alright, students, do you know acid, bases and salts constitutes the fundamental components of our everyday surroundings, including the laboratory acids, the organic acids which we consume, the strong acids, the weak acids, the food we eat constitutes a salt, the detergent, the soaps we use constitutes the bases. We are going to unfold what is acid, what are their properties and characteristics, followed by the bases, its properties and characteristics, and about salts. We will see them one by one. Alright. We will learn what are acids. What are acids? Acids are the substances that taste sour. Their physical property is that they taste sour. Sour means वो खट्टे होते हैं. Acids एक ऐसे substances हैं जो taste में कैसे होते हैं? खट्टे होते हैं. उनका characteristic क्या है? They release hydrogen ions when dissolved in water. So generally, what do the acids do? When we dissolve those acids in water, they release surplus amount of H plus ions. Ions means electrically charged elements. Okay, so here element is hydrogen. The atom is hydrogen, which when dissolved in water gives out surplus amount of hydrogen ions. ये इनकी characteristic है कि एसिड्स जब भी पानी में डिसॉल्व होते हैं तो सरप्लस अमाउंट ऑफ H प्लस आयंस डिसोसिएट करते हैं अपने में से. ओके, निकालते हैं. ऑलराइट, एसिड्स जब रिएक्ट करते हैं मेटल्स के साथ, सो दे प्रोड्यूस हाइड्रोजन गैस. जब भी एसिड एक मेटल के साथ रिएक्ट करेगा तो वो H2 गैस निकालेगा. When acid reacts with metal, they produce hydrogen gas which form bubbles. एग्जाम्पल के लिए हमने जिंक मेटल को HCl के साथ रिएक्ट किया है, जैसे कि आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं. Zn plus 2HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. जो भी बबल्स फॉर्म होंगे, it will prove that these bubbles are the emission of hydrogen gas. It's proof that when the acid reacts with metal, it will give out hydrogen gas. Okay? Alright. Do you know one of the most common acids is present in your own tummies? Yes, in your stomach, the most common acid, that is hydrochloric acid, is present. But what that acid is doing in your stomach? My dear students, that acid helps in digestion of your food. The food we eat is digested by this acid which is present in our stomach. So any sort of acidic reflux. So there are two types of acids, strong acids and weak acids. Strong acids are also known as concentrated acids. These are corrosive in nature. These are too dangerous in nature that they are not present commonly at your homes, but they are present in chemical laboratories. So whenever we face these acids or whenever we work on these acids, always remember to wear gloves and mask on your face because they are highly reactive and corrosive in nature. Concentrated acids are known as strong acids because the amount of acids are higher in these. Reactivity of acids are higher in these sorts of acids. Okay, they can damage the metals and potentially cause burns on your skin. Okay, these are majorly present in chemical laboratories. On the other hand, there are weak acids or known as organic acids. These acids are commonly consumed by us. Okay, these acids are majorly present in the food items, fruits, etc. which we consume. Okay, these acids are not too much dangerous to us because we happily consume them. Okay, laboratory acids are for too dangerous to taste. But have you tasted some of weak acids such as lemon and vinegar? I'm sure you have. These are the list of some strong acids and weak acids, and on your screen. Alright, some majorly and common organic acid that you must learn are the malic acid, which are present in apple, cherries, the citric acid, which are majorly present in citrus fruits like lemons, oranges, berries, the acetic acid, which is present in vinegar or fermented foods, the tartaric acid, which are present in grapes, turmeric, bananas, and the formic acid, which are majorly present in the ants and the bee stings. Okay, so these organic acids, please learn them thoroughly because most of the exam topics come from this part. Okay, there are some only some common organic acids you have to learn, that is malic acid, formic acid, acetic acid, citrus fruit, citric acid, lactic acid sometimes. Okay, from exam point of view, these acids are very much important. What is the difference between strong acid and weak acids? Why some of these acids are known as strong acids and some of them are known as weak acids? Because of their properties. The strong acids are highly reactive because they completely ionize in water. When strong acids are dissolved in water, they get completely ionized. That means they dissociate surplus amount of hydrogen ions in water. But on the other hand, the weak acids, these are partially ionized in water. Concentration of H plus ions for the strong acids is high, but on the other hand, weak acids low. The pH level. What do you mean by pH level? pH level means the power of hydrogen. So for about pH, we are going to give you more information in the next part. But for now, you can understand that pH is a scale which refers to the power of hydrogen ions present in the acid. So strong acids, it goes from typically between 0 and 2, and for weak acids, it between 3 and 7. Electrical conductivity is higher in strong acids because they are ionizing completely when dissolved in water. But for the weak acid, it's low because they are not able to dissociate the hydrogen ions from them when dissolved in water. So, when we talk about the conductivity of electricity, we make use of strong acids rather than the weak acids. Examples: strong acids, H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, HCl, hydrochloric acid, HNO3, nitric acid, HClO4, hydrochloric acid, HBr, boric acid. Okay, and for the weak acid, we all know CH3COOH, acetic acid, and you also can mention the organic acids, that is malic acid, citric acid, lactic acid, etc. Okay, so whenever the question comes in your exam to define the strong acid and weak acids, always remember to mention the examples of strong acids and weak acids. Now we go further. So till now we have understood what are acids, what are strong acids, and what are weak acids. Now it's time to learn about bases. What are bases? So on contrary to acid, bases are slippery in nature. Okay, they release hydroxide ions in water. As acids release out H plus ions in water, the bases release hydroxide ions, OH negative ions, when dissolved in water, and they are bitter in taste. Acids are sour in taste, but bases are little bitter in taste. Bitter means kadwa. Okay. Let's learn more about bases. When dissolved in water, bases dissociate to produce hydroxide ions. Example: sodium water give out sodium plus OH negative ions. Okay, so always remember, when base is dissolved in water, it dissociates into hydroxide ions in comparison to acids which release out H plus ions. Okay, now do you know bases are also known as alkali? Problem of acidic reflux in your stomach, the doctor advise and suggest you a base medicine, a medicine which have base substance in it, so that it can neutralize the acid. Neutralize means balance out the acid, and from that acid, From that kind of basis, the medicines which constitutes the basis, it gives you relief from acidity. All bases are not alkalis, but all alkalis are considered bases. This is a very common statement that majorly comes in your exams. It gives you the statement, the exam, in the examination, the statement is given to you and they ask you to explain the statement. How are you going to explain the statement? Understand the statement first. They are asking you that all bases are not alkalis, but all alkalis are considered bases. So, why? Because alkalis have a basic nature that bases constitutes. We have learned that when bases dissolve in water, it gives you hydroxide ions. Okay, so alkalis always exhibit this nature within. This alkalis exhibit the basic properties and can accept the protons or donate electrons. However, not all bases are alkalis. Only those that dissolve in water and produce OH negative ions are classified as alkalis. Okay, we are going to learn about it more. So the statement is telling you that all alkalis are bases, but all bases are not alkalis. See what happens. All sort of basis substance are not dissolved fully and gives you hydroxide ions. But in the case of alkalis, they get dissolved in water and give you OH negative ions. So alkali shows the basic properties of a base substance, but bases are not able to show you the basic property of a base, which tell you that basis gives out OH negative ion. So क्योंकि alkali अपने आप को डिसोसिएट कर देती है OH नेगेटिव आयंस में, पर बेस ऐसा नहीं कर पाता, इसलिए ऐसा कहा जाता है कि alkali सारे बेसिस होते हैं पर सारे बेसिस alkalis नहीं होते. आपकी स्क्रीन पे कुछ ऐसे एग्जांपल्स हैं बेसिस के. sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. So these are the bases which generally soluble or not soluble. So these are not exhibiting the basic properties of bases. Okay, but alkalis are the strong bases. Alkalis comes under bases, but these alkalis are bases because they show the basic properties of a base substance. That is, they get dissolved in water by exhibiting and emitting the OH negative ions. For example, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. You just need to explain the statement and give examples by mentioning these basis elements, chemical elements. Okay, you just need to learn only these major chemical elements of alkalis and bases. Okay, so till now we have learned about the acids, strong and weak acids, and then we have learned about bases, that bases are bitter in nature, their physical property, their chemical properties, that when they dissolve in water they give out hydroxide ions, and the majorly asked statement that all alkalis are bases but all bases are not alkalis. Hope you have understand this. Now we are going to learn about salts. How does these salts are produced, which are majorly found in every household, right? Have you ever thought where does this salt come from? So salts are nothing but when acid and bases get mixed, neutralization element. These salts are the result of neutralization reactions. What does this neutralization reactions does? So when acids and alkalis or base mix up, they neutralize each other, they balance out each other, forming the salt and water. So this process is known as neutralization reaction. For the formation of salt, for knowing the formation of salt, these neutralization reactions are important because by mixing the acid and base, they both neutralize each other and give us salt, that is NaCl. Na is for sodium and Cl is for chlorine. Sodium chloride is the salt. Okay, you can see the reaction on your screen as well. HCl plus NaOH gives you NaCl plus H2O. Always remember, salt always comes with water, that is H2O, and always form as a result of neutralization reaction in which one acid, that is HCl, and one base, that is NaOH, is reacted together or mixed together to form NaCl, that is your salt. Okay. So till now we have learned about acid, bases and salt. So it's a time for a quick recap. Acid, bases and salts together. So we have learned that acids release hydrogen ions in water solutions and they taste sour. खट्टे होते हैं. Bases on the other hand releases hydroxide ions in water solution and they taste bitter. The salts are the ionic compounds formed from reactions, that is neutralization reactions between acid and bases. So this was all about the acids, bases and salts, their physical properties and some of their chemical properties. In the next section, we are going to learn about indicators. Till then, keep on learning and keep on revising. Bye-bye. Take care.